I'm here in the orchard with Dave today, and we're going to give you a simple 5-step tutorial on marcotting a longan. So these are the tools you need for a trade, which is just a handful of tools. We've got a pair of pliers, a sharp knife, some string, and a bag of coir mix. And this is just 1 pot of coir. So we measure this out so we're ready to go. And Dave's got all his tools ready to show you this really simple technique. So there's 5 steps, and the first step is selecting your tree. The second step will involve selecting the branch that you're going to marcot. You're then going to prepare that branch ready to marcot it. You're going to cincture it where you want the roots to form on your tree, and you're going to pack that cincture. And then you're going to leave it to form roots into this pack of coir mix that you put on it. And once it's ready, you cut it off and you have yourself a marcotted longan tree ready to plant. So step 1 in our tutorial for marcotting a longan, you need to select the tree that you want to marcot. And what you need is a mature plant that produces excellent quality fruit. So we've selected our Kohala longan because we love these fruits, and it's a beautiful big tree. So it's going to give us a lot of options, and we can go around and select the best pieces of wood to make our marcots. So step number 2 is selecting the branch that you want to marcot. And what you're looking for is something that has a quite nice form. So you've got to imagine that this is going to become your upright stem. So you want something that branches out in about 3 or 4 branches and has a nice straight central branch. So we've selected this branch, and Dave's going to prepare it for us. You just remove any of the excess wood branches, and this basically allows him to see where he's working. He just clears off the stem where he's going to put the marcot. So it's just a matter of stripping back some of the leaves and branches, and then he's just going to prepare it ready to make his cincture cut. So he's going to actually start by tying on a bit of string. This is going to form the pad, and he does this because he's working on his own, and it just makes it easier in his one-man procedure. So this is in preparation for the final step, which is packing it out. So this is the most important part, and this is where you're going to cut off the bark. So cincturing is ring barking the tree. So what you want to do is you want to take off all the outer bark down to the cambium layer, and you also want to remove the cambium layer from the branch that you're marcotting. So Dave's got this lovely pair of old pliers that are his favourite tool for this job. And the reason he chooses those is because they're nice and rough, and they're perfect for stripping the bark off the tree. So he's just using the teeth inside the pliers to just strip that bark back to the cambium layer. So it comes off quite easily. It's just the different layers of bark. So he's taking it down to the central core, and then he's actually going to wipe off the cambium layer. Now, if you don't take off the cambium layer, you'll find that when you pack it, your bark will heel over and your marcot will be unsuccessful. So the idea of this, you want to clean off the cambium from this, you want to remove all the outer bark, and the roots are going to form from this point here. So this area will callus, and this is going to make the new roots, and you're going to cut this off once it's formed roots, and this is going to be your new tree with a root system coming from here. So step 5 is packing out your marcot, and this is really important. So this is with a pre-made bag of coir mix, and it's got moisture in it, so it needs to be a little bit moist but not wet. And this is going to keep this cincture nice and moist, and it's going to allow the roots to grow into this porous mix. So Dave's just going to cut it open where he's going to put the branch. And this is what his sharp knife is for. And then it's just a matter of holding down the branch however you can. He's got his bit of string that he's prepared at the start of the technique. And then he's going to make sure that that cincture is in the centre of the pack of coir, and he's going to firmly tie this around. So the plastic bag is going to keep that nice and tight. You don't want the rain and extra moisture or pests and insects getting into that bag. So you do need to tie it off quite tightly. So he's got a loose knot that he's going to pull that string around, and then he's going to tie this pack firmly onto this branch. So it doesn't move, it's not loose, the wind's not going to move it, the weather's not going to move it. The advantage of using a plastic bag is you'll actually be able to see the roots as they form into this, and you'll know when it's going to be ready. But this Marcot is going to take about 2 months until it's ready to cut off. So we're doing this at the end of summer, so probably about the end of April, May, we'll be ready to take these Marcots off. We'll then put them into a heated poly house onto heated benches so that they can continue to form roots when we pot them up. So you can see he's tied that off quite tightly all the way along that Marcot, and he's going to tie it off in a nice tight firm knot. So when you finish packing up your Marcot, there's only just one other thing you need to do, and that's just put a couple of drainage holes in the bottom of the bag. And that's just in case there's any moisture gets into your bag, you need to be able to let it out. When it's ready to go, you're going to cut it off here. So this is the end result of your Longan Marcotting, and this is a potted plant ready to go. This Marcot is about 4 or 5 months old. So it's been taken off the tree, it's been potted up, it's grown into its pot, and it's actually ready to plant. So this is exactly what you're looking to produce. And this is going to flower and produce fruit at a really young age. So the idea of Marcotting is to produce a miniature mature tree that is going to produce true to type fruit. So fruit that is exactly the same as the parent tree. It's a lovely Marcotted variety, and as you can see, it's ready to plant. So we hope that this Dailies tutorial Marcotting Longans will give you the confidence to try this at home. So you can do this and just go out and have a go. If it works and it succeeds, you're going to have a Longan tree in your garden. And if it doesn't, you've lost nothing. So have a go in your garden, have a go at Marcotting, or air layering as they also call this technique. And if you've found this helpful, please like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube videos, and send us your thoughts and comments of what you think, because if you've liked this tutorial, we'll certainly be happy to do some more.